Hello and welcome to yet another episode of What to Pick. In this video series I go over a few different starting hands and explain what I would pick and why. And in today's starting hand we first have a decision between Helion and Inventrix. Both are kind of average corps, I'd say. They can have their advantages. I'd say generally Helion is a bit better, but it's really marginal. Okay. Always, if you have ecology experts, take a look if you can play it with something incredible like kelp farming or farming. And other than that, I'd say supplier is quite nice for Helion because it's basically 2 more heat prod. That's also flexible because you can use it as power prod for a power hungry card, and the boost to starting capital is also quite nice. Biolab, I think it's not that strong. If you can use the science tag for something and you can combo the plant prod with something, then it's okay. And donation is just bang on average. So let's pick these two for now and let's hope we find a good card for ecology experts. So there's nothing on the... Oh, but there's trees on the second hand. All right, so that's perfect for ecology experts. So that's a given. Now we have to decide on... That works for both corps, of course, but... to decide which corp we want to pick. So there's not a lot of starting capital, not a lot of heat prod on this hand. We have power supply consortium, and with a supplier we have 1 power tag. So we're reasonably close to playing that. But then also we need an opponent with power prod, so I don't know if I want to pick that up. Mining area is probably quite nice, especially because we have a lot of plant prod. We have 4 plant prod to start off with. 1 from ecology experts and 3 from trees, so we can pop down greeneries and then place mining area next to it. Large convoy is basically a keep all the time. And other than that, if you're going with supplier, we could honestly pick up strip mine. We have the 2 power prod immediately. Which means we can play it first gen, and we also have steel to pay for it. So that's a really nice boost to our starting capital. Of course, the 2 oxygen steps are not perfect in this setup because you have trees gen 1. So normally you'd like to get as many oxygen steps out of the track with your plant prod, and just taking 2 with strip mine isn't that nice. But I'd say it's still okay. But then it doesn't really look like a Helion setup. I mean, you can use your heat as money. But why would we go for Helion here? We can go for Inventrix, supplier and ecology experts. We can pick up strip mine. We can pick up adaptation tech, and now we are super Inventrix. Large convoy for sure. Gene repair, because we have 2 science techs already with Inventrix, 1 on the corp, and then adaptation tech is the second one. Definitely pick up trees and mining area. And with, I mean, that's 2 science techs, plus if we get a third one, we're already at 4 because of gene repair. And we have some titanium prod, so we can pick up interstellar colony ship as well. That would mean we go down to 24. Plus 8 from supplier, that's 32. But trees and strip mine is 38. So we need to cut 2 cards from this. You could honestly cut ICS and gene repair. And that would mean you could play strip mine and trees gen 1. Which I think is nice. And then you draw 3 cards as well, so you're left with 8 cards, and then you play 2, so you still have 6 cards afterwards. You could delay strip mine 1 gen, but if we're picking it up, I would like to play it first gen. So if you're going with Inventrix, I'd say this is the setup you want to go for. And if you want to go for Helion, I'd say you go for supplier, ecology experts, strip mine, large convoy. You skip adaptation tag, trees, mining area. That's probably the setup I'd go for with Helion. You could also stack on power supply consortium. but I wouldn't go for Adaption Tech because it's not that strong. I only like it on the starting hand with Inventrix, or if I have like Algae and Kelp farming on hand. And if we skip the Science Tech here and we don't have one on the Corp, then we certainly won't pick up Gene Repair and certainly also not Interstellar Colony Ship. We don't have any Jovians, so TG is a hard gamble that we don't want to take here. Installation is really bad for Helion, and yeah, so basically these are the two routes you could go. But maybe you see something different here. Let me know in the comments. But let's get to the second hand. All right, and hand number 2 is a decision between Robinson and Ecoline. Two totally different corps. And Robinson is more flexible, but Ecoline is stronger in the right scenario. But let's go with Robinson for now. What you like to see with Robinson is Money Prod and Heat Prod on your starting hand, because those are the two productions that you don't want to increase with your power, with your ability. And we have Steel Prod, which you normally like to increase. It's valuable. And Power Prod, which you also like to increase. But ASA is really good, not only for Robinson, basically for every corp. And yeah, probably I'd go for one of these then. Still, I don't like Pyrolab that much. Let's say we go with, yeah, Supplier is probably the better one. Oh, Mazio, okay. Mazio is insane. Natural Preserve works well with it. No Heat Prod, which is not great, other than Methane. Oh. I say no Heat Prod for Ecoline. Ecoline really needs Heat Prod in your starting hand or your preludes. Without Heat Prod, Ecoline is really bad. But I think you could make this work with Ecoline. Definitely ASA for the boost of your in your starting capital. And then Supplier, more boost to your starting capital, and Power Prod, which you can use as Heat Prod. And then take a look at this. You have Towing a Comet, which is an oxygen step and gives you enough plants to convert immediately if you place it on 2 plants. Your third player, so you have to be lucky that no one destroys your plants immediately. But if you do this with your first action, and you also have 6 titanium from ASA, so you can play this for 5 MC and 6 titanium, then you can get up to 2 oxygen, 2% oxygen, and then you can play methane from Titan immediately. Don't think you have the money for it after playing Towing a Comet, but then you have 2 Heat Prod, 2 Power Prod, 4 Plant Prod. That's insane. How much money do we need to play this? Because there are a few other really good cards on the starting hand that we'd like to pick up. Let's say we pick up the best cards here. Mazio, GHG producing bacteria, also really good because it's also helping to increase the temperature track. Natural Preserve is a top tier card for Ecoline. Noctis Farming is really good. Birds you could spec on, not spec on, but you will increase the oxygen track really fast, so you could pick up birds here. So if we went for all of these cards, we would have 15 cash plus 18 from the titanium. That's 33. That's nowhere near enough for Methane plus Towing a Comet. Methane plus Towing a Comet, so this costs 21 because you place a greenery next to it. So 21 plus 28, that's 49. We have 46 plus 8, that's 54. So yeah, it doesn't work. No matter how many cards you pick up, it doesn't work. So Methane needs to be played in Gen 2, right? 36 plus 18 is 46, 54, and this costs 49. That's 5. Yeah, okay. Even if you only pick up these 2 cards, you can't play them. If I calculated that correctly, but I have no idea. I only studied math, so yeah. So I'd probably go with these 7 cards here. Play Towing a Comet and convert in the first gen, and then second gen I play Methane from Titan. And then you go nuts. And then, like, 3rd gen, you can play Marthew, Natural Preserve. You just have to hope that nobody plays like Strip Mine Gen 1 or Smelting Plant, because then Natural Preserve is dead. But getting Towing a Comet plus Methane down is more important than getting Natural Preserve down. And I think it's still okay to gamble that no one else increases the oxygen here. So I probably would just go for this line, and I don't really see a reason to play Robinson here. I think this is an insane Ecoline start. But yeah, let's get to the 3rd hand. Okay, and hand number 3 is a decision between Tharsis and Interplanetary Cinematics. I think IC normally is stronger than Tharsis, although I haven't talked about the map in the other 2 hands, but we're playing on Tharsis the whole time. And Tharsis, kind of ironically, is the best map for Tharsis Republic because of the milestones and awards. But still, I'd pick IC for now. Let's see what we get. It has a city prelude. But if we're going with IC, then these 2 are top tier. Acquired Space Agency gives you more starting capital, which you need with IC. You have a ton of starting capital, but most of it is steel. So if you get a few good space events or something like that, you can't play them early on because you lack the money for it. And with ASA, you can do it. And Metals Company is just an S tier prelude because it gives you so much production. Okay, speaking about space events, there's Demos down. You don't want to play this early, but it's top tier. Always keep this on your starting hand. And then there's also Earthcat, so that's also top tier. There's Methane from Titan again, but okay. Electrocat, that's really good for IC. Solar power normally is really bad, but you're swimming in steel, so you can play it to get Electrocat down Gen 1. Energy tapping, I think, is always worth a spec, other than PSC, which we had earlier, where you need 2 power tags. You can just play this whenever you want. Of course, it's a negative victory point, but it's worth hitting someone's power prod for 1 and getting a power. It's really, really good card, really influential. And then with IC, you can also pick up Martian Survey because it's 2 cheaper. I think there's no reason to pick up ICS here. We don't have any science tags. Don't see a reason to pick up Methane from Titan as well. You will draw more space tags with ASA. And you also have demos. No way of increasing the oxygen early, so don't think this is worth a keep. Tectonic stress power, also not worth it. Don't have any science tags. I don't think we want to gamble on Jovians. We have no other Jovians other than Methane, but that's coming down too late, probably. So with ICS, I'd probably go for these 6 cards, and that's a pretty good starting hand. You have Earthcat, which helps you, which is just amazing, but you probably won't even play it Gen 1, right? Because you have 12 money left. 12 plus 40 is 52. You play this, you have 29 left. Ah yeah, you can play it Gen 1. Okay. Nice. So you start off with Earthcat into Solar Power Electrocat, Celestial. Ah wait, I don't think you can actually do it because you need to reserve 1 steel. But even if you have to play this Gen 2 and just play Solar Power Electrocat Gen 1, and then Gen 2 you play Earthcat, that's amazing. But you'd have to calculate this. If you can play this before you play these 2 cards, then do it. If you can't, then just play Gen 2. And yeah, with ICS, definitely these 2 preludes. You could also think about biofuels because it gives you the power prod you need for Electrocat. But which of these preludes do you want to skip? I think these are just better, and you have power prod on hand. Of course, it's solar power, it's expensive, but you can pay for it with steel. I think that's okay. Yeah, but I think there's also a line for Tharsis here. You could honestly just go self-sufficient settlement. And then either ASA or Metals Company, but probably Metals Company because we know we have ElectroCat. And pick up these. You could spec on methane because the plant and heat product is really valuable for Tharsis. Don't want to pick up Martian Service, Tharsis, and then these three as well. But yeah, you could also... Biofuels would be really nice for Tharsis. But do you want to skip the city for it? Definitely don't want to skip Metals Company. I mean, you could skip it and sell plants, but why are you keeping biofuels then? Yeah, I think the ICS start is just better. Keeping self-sufficient settlement feels right with Tharsis. But I think ICS has just a better start here. So yeah, I think that's what I'd keep with ICS, but there's like a pathway to play Tharsis here as well, but I think this one is better. But if you disagree, definitely let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode of What to Pick. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.